So today we're working on a new to us Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. This is a 2013 model. Today we're going to look at the battery, which is down here. This is our new battery. The old battery, which we've had tested, but potentially is causing some problems, is hiding away under the seat in here. So we're going to have to get that out. Now, this is still new to us. You can see me in the shiny reflection here. It's good stuff. It's nice and clean. This is a new car, or at least a used new car, and it has some issues commensurate with used cars. The one we're looking at the moment is a hesitation, particularly on cold mornings. When you go to slow down at low RPM, the engine stutters and shudders and whatnot, and you turn the engine off, turn it back on again, it runs fine. So we're going to do the battery first. We've done the air filter, which was heavily blocked. We've done oil, we've done fuel filters, and fairly soon we'll probably look at a couple of other things like glow plugs, but we're checking all the basics and the new things. We went and had the battery tested today, and it is showing to be fairly slow on the recovery. So this is the next thing on the list to change. And in the case, these guys took notes from the Land Rovers like that one and the 6-wheel drive here, and they shoved the battery under the driver's seat. More to the point, in this one it's under the passenger seat. In the 6B there's 2 fuel tanks, so they put it back under the bonnet again. Would be nice, but anyway, we're going to pull the battery out from under the seat. Alright, first thing I'm going to do here is upset the wife. I'm going to put the, or the financial manager as we call her, I'm going to put this seat all the way forwards. This one we're not fortunate enough to have the memory or seat memory position in this. So the seat falls across a bit. Okay, that's as far as she goes. Tilt the back forwards a little bit to give me some more room. And we are scraping on the headrest. Now of course we need to take some less than convenient angles here to do this. And I need to work out how this comes out. There we go. So the back has 2 little pop clips that pull vertically up by the feel of it. There they are. Gives us access to our battery. Now this is our negative terminal, and this is vent pipe. This vents gases like hydrogen if your battery boils and whatnot. Good idea to have that attached. Now, negative terminal, if you happen to swing your span around and touch the chassis, not really much of a problem. And of course, once that's connected, the positive terminal isn't a problem because you've got no return back to the chassis. That's why they put the negative terminal here first. Tools acquired. It's a kit I've had for a very long time. Off memory 13, I think it's for the brackets. We'll probably need a 10mm for the top of that and a short extension. Lefty loosey mode. Alright. Undo that until it's loose. This guy should wriggle off now. There we go, that's our negative off. Okay, so unfortunately my extension bar is not long enough to get down there. We need a different set. Okay, now we have increased the length for ratcheting pleasure and put it in lefty loosey mode. There are 2 nuts on long studs down here that we need to undo, and then that bracket I think should come free. While I'm working the ratchet, I will direct you to a link in the description for the video I used as a reference to figure this problem out. Oh. And careful, when that does touch the negative terminal, you can get a bit of an arc. Okay, let's try again with the negative terminal well out of the way. Hopefully we didn't cause a surge in anything serious there. They're usually pretty good. Oh, hang on a minute. Do I see a red to a black wire here? Okay, so that is a single coil black wire. Note to self, don't trust red and black in this vehicle. I should really find out where that wire goes, because that is that's either a red fuse holder on a black wire, or it's a black wire hooked up to positive. Either way, not the most sensible thing to do in a vehicle. Alright, we have things finger tight now, or finger loose. However loose you need things to be able to use 2 fingers to remove the nut, that is. There we go. Black thing is out. Now I'm on good authority from the other YouTube video I watched that we can slide this forward a bit, and that will give us access to the positive terminal which they've stacked a bunch of things underneath. I should have expected this. Right. Okay. And that guy completely off as well. Here's one of our extra wires. They put 2 nuts on there. Okay, well it could be worse, I guess. Let's put my phone in range of getting damaged. Can we lift up? We can. Now this is non-spillable. I hope that's correct because we're about to acid etch the carpet if we don't. Yep. Okay, so we can get the end up like that. I'm pretty sure once we've got the end up, we can slide it out. But the camera is again in the way, as are tools. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. We'll prepare prior to performing in a piss poor fashion. Alright, old battery out. Alright, let's lift you up and get it out. This is about 40 kilos worth. Alright, here is new battery. Oakley dokley. Remove all the stuff out of the way that might get crushed under the battery. And these rubber hoses have been trained to fall back in the hole. It's not what I'd like. Okay, let's slide in, holding the rear handle so I don't bust my fingers. Careful not to drop too much because you can bust the bottom out of a $400 battery. Okay, so wonder, this is always the interesting bit. If I was going to do exactly that, drop that nut and then have no idea where it just went. Okay, so that nut is gone. I removed the battery. I fished around here with a magnet, found somebody's old house key. I found a spare bolt from something. Don't know. I'm going to put the nut back on with a magnet on a stick. This seems to be the most reliable way to get nuts started. Right, pro tip, don't tighten that too much. You can actually snap off the hold downs on the battery. Just enough that she doesn't move around with significant shoving. So next thing we need to do, hook up our safety vent. Should push in like that. We'll work out what the hell we're doing with these guys. We will probably put some tape around them as well. Looks like somebody's done an inline splice here as well because they couldn't put fuse holders in properly. Anyway, I have probably done worse things. Let's go and find a nut for that terminal. Okay, I fished our positive terminal out. I'm going to loosen that up a little bit. We're going to pop our little plastic cap off. I have seen people put terminals on with these still on here and wonder why things didn't work. Okay. I may need to apply a bit of gentle persuasion here. We'll loosen that up as much as we care to do so and just give it just a gentle tap down. Not so much that we damage things, just because it's really hard to wriggle. There's not enough room in that spot. I think that's flush. Okay. Put things in righty-tighty mode. Tighten our terminal up again. Again, not so tight as to break things, but certainly want things firm. Right, that is good. I'm still not sure how they managed to get a nut on there. I did find a little one here that might be the right size. Shockingly, that might be the right size. But I may have to tighten this up more, which I don't really want to do because I don't want to break stuff. Alright, for the short term we're forced to do something dodgy. We'll just put this under the lockdown nut for the terminal. Later on I think what we'll do is we'll make a proper branch off this with the proper terminals. Not really happy with this. For now, this can go back on like that. I can do it up. Lots of things to fix on this. Alright, the red nipple's done. Time for the blue one. Actually we might leave that off till I locate the other terminal. Just go and walk about again. off to the Kimberleys or Ayers Rock or something like that. Okay, now this is the one that's likely to spark momentarily, so we don't want to hang around. We want to just shove this straight on. And we don't have to worry about the ratchet touching the frame for the negative, because that's where it goes back to via the engine strap, grounding strap. Now, if you are the sort that likes to pause video, this is your instructions on what to do. Okay, let's put this back in, other way around. That lead goes over the top. That's the seat lead. This is for the aftermarket entertainment system somebody put in here, previous owners. That clicks in. These ones I think should click in at the back. I think we're good. We'll put the floor mats back in. Now, I need to pack up my tools. Right, that's his one floor mat there. Get these tools out of the way. Okay, that is our battery changed. So, if you happen to recognise your old Jeep and your old key, drop me an email. I'll send it back to you. Alright, now we find the answer to the burning question, will it blend? Which requires us to put it back into the financial manager's position again. Or at least roughly where we think it should be. I don't fit when it's in her position. Alright, that's what she said, I guess. We're in park. We've got ignition. We have to put one foot in here and push the button. Okay, she starts nicely. So it works, and obviously the keys are still encoded. So we're happy right now. Got to check the apprentice's issue. Do the systems in the back work? I see a little blue light. Do they fire up? They do. Awesome. She will be happy. Alright, let's shut her down again. Okay. So, that's a battery change. I know a scrap merchant that can probably deal with this for me for about $1 a kilo or thereabouts. We want to find a date code on this, find out when this got put on here. I think the date sticker washed off the top, but this does say copyright 2009-2012 Chrysler Group. This being a 2013 vehicle, potentially this could be the factory battery, because Jeep do request Mopar stuff. This has probably been the date code on that sticker somewhere. So this is potentially the original battery in like a 10+ year old vehicle. And I'm pretty sure I pulled out the factory original air filter out of the thing too. So probably was about due to change it. So hope it was a useful video, and if you want more details, check the video below. In the description, here's the one I researched first. Most of this vehicle is foreign to me. I'm having to look a lot of this stuff up on the internet or the service manual, and then show you guys how I did it. Consequently, I may do or may have done some things wrong. Feel free to argue about it in the comments. Sometimes I read them, sometimes I don't. Anyway, see you later.